If you've ever been late to start your show in the morning because you were steeping tea, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Folks, happy Friday. We're back. We're going to close this week out with a bang, try and extract some money from this market. Got some data here this morning, got some stocks popping, got the market popping, got 13 in the back. We're ready to roll. Are you guys ready?
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start with this comment right here. Gene saying, good morning. Got a top, Joel, Triple D, and AB. Pre-market prep was awesome again. I did catch a part of it. I had to turn it off because they were talking about the State of the Union address. So, Gene, you'll have to be telling me what made it so good. And I promise you that 13 and I will try and take the top off and break out from that, just like we're going to try and find some of these charts that are breaking out, or stocks that are breaking out. Speaking of the man, the myth, the legend, let's bring him on. 13, how are you this morning?
I'm feeling a little built up right now.
That? You like that?
I'm feeling a little built up and have some pressure put on. So, hey, guys, we're going to have apparently a really good morning today.
Apparently we are. It's exactly it. Gene out here saying we got to top them. And you know what? If Gene says that, guess what we got to do, 13? We got to come out here and get that done.
Let's do it then.
Come out here and get that done.
All right, I'm ready to start.
All right, let's dive right in here. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my chart here. We're going to start by talking about the SPY. Stop if you've heard this before. We are printing some more highs on the SPY. Man, this whole pattern where it looks like it's going to kind of roll over and then we pop and go to new highs, this is still intact, and we're seeing that again here today. 516.66 currently on the SPY. After we actually got the data print here this morning on the unemployment rate, the market actually shot up here. That print, U.S. unemployment rate for February, 3.9% versus the 3.7% estimate. The prior reading was also 3.7%. Looks like the non-farm payrolls here, 275 versus the 198 estimate. Previous reading here was 223. So those data prints here causing the market to trade up. Today, 13, one of the things that I was discussing yesterday, I'd like to get your opinion on the market right after this. One of the things that I was discussing yesterday, partly based on your chart and the wedge area that we seem to be trading in, I wouldn't be terribly shocked if we kind of traded up a little bit and then kind of traded down and sold off going into the weekend. What do you think out there?
Based on the pattern that we've been trying to identify here, we do get a bit more selling off, sometimes sideways action after we get that print to new all-time highs. Making a little bit newer highs, and then we come in a bit, start going down before we set up to make the new all-time highs again. That's just been the pattern that's been repeating. With today's print, actually really in line with what I was looking for. We've been saying for a good portion of the week, and maybe even last week, the Fed has been, especially Powell, has been trying to push us towards looking at these economic reports, particularly the jobs report. And we needed to see a rise in unemployment since that's part of their rate cutting strategy. So now we have a higher unemployment print. The market sees that. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're probably getting rate cuts sooner than later. That's the thinking anyway. And now the market's higher as a result of that. So this is kind of falling in line with what we were looking for. And yes, I do think that we'll probably trade up in the open, and then we'll possibly sell off. No guarantees that's what's happened, but
yeah, no,
that's been the pattern that's repeated.
Yeah, of course not. And that's kind of what I'm saying here. I mean, look, I make predictions all the time. I'm wrong all the time. That's how this game is. But I'm going to go out there and tell you what I think and be honest about it. If I'm wrong, I'll deal with it. If I'm right, great. We'll go from there. So no big deal. Nobody's keeping score, at least not that I'm aware of. Your P&L is really the only score that matters, frankly. Yeah. It doesn't really matter what anyone else's thoughts are on it. Your P&L at the end of the day is what is going to matter. Okay, so there you go on SPY. I think one of the other things we should probably talk about was Broadcom. One of the things we said yesterday was that Broadcom, this is one of the last big reports here of the reporting season. This could, kind of tell us if we're going to trade up some more. Maybe this could kind of start the sell-off. Well, option sellers won the day yesterday for this print. That's for sure. This stock pinned right here at 1400. This is just about where we closed. There was a lot of action in the after hours. We were watching it and laughing about it. Things sold off like $100, then went green like 10 minutes later. It was just unbelievable how stocks this big can you just get pushed around so quickly. I understand the after hours is a little bit different, but in any case, we're opening pretty much right where we closed here on Broadcom. If you want to actually go over the print, I'm sure you guys did this on pre-market prep. Broadcom beat the EPS estimate. 1099 beat the 1029 estimate. Sales 11.96 billion beat the 11.71 billion estimate. So top and bottom line beat. FY24 revenue 50 billion versus the 50.21 billion estimate. So a little bit under there. EBITDA guidance of 60% of projected revenue. So I mean, not a great report, but still in a really kind of a hot sector. Nothing was terrible. Beat on the top and bottom line. Stocks really kind of holding in. This morning, we got a whole bunch of price target changes. Looks like Bernstein, JP Morgan, Mizuho, UBS, Bank of America, Jefferies. I mean, all of the big houses, TD, Wells Fargo, Piper, Susquehanna, Oppenheimer. So lots of re-ratings here on Broadcom. Would love to hear if any of you have a trade plan on Broadcom here. Were you in it for the earnings print? Are you looking to trade it now that earnings is out of the way? Does it tell you something about the tech sector? Let me know what Broadcom's earnings means to you. But 13, you got anything from this? This was kind of, we saw the exciting part of this live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw that go down to what was about 1280, and then it shot right back up. The interesting thing for me is that we didn't, test the all-time highs at all that we put in on March 4th, which was about 1431. So if we don't do that today, maybe that's some weakness or some tiredness in this particular sector. I mean, I would have expected that this would have gone a little bit higher than just being flat. So I'm kind of interested in to see how this trades today. I think it may be giving us a little bit more of a clue as to where the market's headed than we might think.
Okay, there you go. Jay Rice, I completely agree with Jay here today. Yeah, totally agree. This is a great day to trim, not to add. I think that's really, really sound advice. Keep in mind that some of the day trading that we're going to be doing here, that does not fit into this. The entire thesis of the day trading plan is to be flat by EOD. So that shouldn't necessarily matter. We'll probably do those day trades off technicals. Any of your swing or investment positions, I agree with Jay. Today, not the day to add to those.
I agree with him too, but I'm not changing my limit orders that I have for a couple of companies, particularly Starbucks and Apple. If those absolutely start to go down with that selling that we're thinking we might be getting later on today, I'm going to fill those orders. I still want that weakness in those companies because I'm going to gobble it up.
Yeah, so, and I mean, to be fair to you on that one, 13, I believe those orders are several points. I mean, it's not like your order's sitting out here at 167, right? I think you're at 165, 160, if I recall correctly. So, I mean, you're still being patient on this. I wouldn't change that either, frankly. Wouldn't change that either.
And that's the plan for that.
Say that again.
And that's the plan for that.
And that's the plan for that. Okay, let's flip over to the movers tool and take a look at some of the stocks that are moving. We'll definitely take a look at the stocks here from the chat, any of the stocks that you folks are taking a look at here. Not a whole lot here. 13 and I were kind of talking about this. We're definitely seeing some stocks moving here, but the news prints for some of those stocks, not all that great. So we're going to make the most of what we can here. I'm going to start with ticker PRCH. This is Porch Group. The reason I'm going to start with this is because this has an actual catalyst that's likely driving the price action here today. Porch Group shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results and issued strong FY24 guidance. This earnings last night look good, beat top and bottom line. No re-ratings or anything here today, but the trading action actually seems pretty good on this ticker, right? We popped after the earnings. We kind of flagged a little bit. We held that here in the pre-market. We're trying to take another leg up here on volume. We're still right at the VWAP. This one actually looks pretty good. I probably wait a little bit right around the open to trade this one, but this one looks like this could be on deck. Fairly decent catalyst going here as well. Now, did you have anything else on Porch? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to roll through that real quick.
Look, aside from their earnings report and a really big guide, they do have a 46.5 million share float. However, they also have a pretty high short interest that I found interesting. They're at 19.76% shorted, and they have 8.65 days to cover. So that's pretty high. This could be squeezing today. So when we open and we start to really see some upside moves accelerate, I think that's where we're going to be seeing the shorts get squeezed out. I don't have levels for this quite yet. I'm putting them in right now, but 4 is looking like it's on deck next, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, definitely. 4, we've actually kind of flirted and bounced off that 4 level already here today. So that's definitely going to be in play once the market opens here. Okay, AIMD, this is another one here. No news that I could find on this. Let me just double check and make sure I'm not confusing it. Yeah, no fresh news here. AIMD, this is Anos. Maybe I'm
watch your mouth.
Yeah, I got to be really careful here about mispronouncing some of these. This stock yesterday was about $1.23, up 192% here today. To me, it looks like this is just kind of trading on technicals, right? We traded up to that 250 level. We kind of pinned there this morning. We pushed away from that. We back tested that 250 level. Now we're back up here testing 350. So this just kind of looks like a technical back and forth. If anyone else has anything on this one that I didn't find or that we didn't catch here, would love to hear it. But otherwise, technical trade here on this one. Now, with that being said, volume looks good here, right? This stock has a 1.71 million float, definitely a low float. On average, trades just under 1 million shares. But today, we're already trading above 16 million shares. This should be plenty liquid for us to flip back and forth here. So AIMD.
The only other thing I have on that is they did a 1-for-5 reverse split on December 14th.
Okay. So there's that theme that we had been talking about, right? Some of these stocks that do reverse splits end up having movements, whether they deserve them or not, if that's the right word. PBM, this is another one. This is Sciessence Biomedical. This actually traded up yesterday. Big move up here today. Now, if I flip over to the news here, you'll notice that I don't really see a lot of fresh news. Last piece of news here came from a PR Wednesday morning. I don't see anything fresh here. We do see this kind of trading up here. Looks like it found some resistance at 3. We're doing a good job staying around the VWAP and not breaking down from that. One of the things that you were saying earlier is that this might be a sympathy to MindMed, right? Ticker MNMD.
Yep. Yeah, because they are both in the same space where they're using psilocybin, some of these more cosmetic drugs for treatments. So I think being in the same space, it's getting this movement, and they also have a 4.7 million share float, so not too hard to push around either. That's my thought on why it's getting moved around so easily, because of the MindMed's movement and that the general space of using cosmetic drugs to treat people.
Okay, that takes care of PBM. That means that the next one we should take a look at here is, in fact, MindMed. Now, yesterday, we had a huge move here, right? Started in the pre-market, topped out just above 11 in the regular session, came back in and flagged. We actually have more news here today on MindMed. Stock's only up 5.5% here in the pre-market. The other thing that's notable here, RBC Capital maintains an outperform on Mind Medicine and raised the price target there to 22. The PR here this morning, Numinous Wellness congratulates MindMed on positive results from a phase 2B clinical trial. Was that the same phase 2B? Yeah. So they announced those results here on Thursday. That was the PR yesterday morning. Today, we're getting a congratulations. So unless I'm missing something here.
No,
this is a research firm that's kind of, I guess, maybe verifying that the results are good.
Maybe the only thing I'm really interested in is if this is going to do a breakout move, because what they've got, excuse me, going on here is that if I'm looking at a 5-minute chart, and they've been trying to stay above 950 ever since we've had that big pop yesterday. They've been trading up to it, getting rejected, trading up to it, getting rejected. So I think this is a pretty interesting level. Should we get this the volume to expand in this one? I think it could be on deck today, but it's got to work through about 30 cents of overhead supply. So it's in the process of doing that right now. It might actually start to move here in after we open. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually broke above 10 and even tested 11 here today. I mean, those highs here from yesterday, this seems in reach if we do get that volume to expand, like you just mentioned. So MNMD, I know a lot of you folks were wanting to take a look at that. Looks like Crow, Kel, you guys were on that. So there you go. There you go. Okay, another one here, Mira. This is Mira Pharmaceuticals. This popped is just over 2, really kind of came back in, holding where it popped yesterday after hours. Looking at this here, I did see that there was an SEC, a Form 8 here that came out. This is likely what was driving it yesterday. Don't really see anything fresh here today, although we did take another leg up here this morning, really kind of come back down to balance. I'd say be careful with this one. Watch how this trades. See if this can actually catch a bid. Not my favorite of the plays that we're looking at here today.
Yeah, this one was under $1 until that news popped it over, and it's got an 11 million share float. I when they're so close to going under $1, I just kind of stay away from ones like these. And it looks like it is headed back to under $1 at some point. But if it provides trades, absolutely by all means trade this. But this isn't going to be something that's interesting to me today.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get back here. Sarah's adjusting some more stuff there. Sarah, let's talk about this. So this was a really crappy trade in the prop account yesterday. Pretty disappointed in my own performance, frankly. This stock, I really don't. What would really make me upset is if I try to day trade this again and somehow I screw it up again, because then I will have looked at I'm compounding my problem. I'm going to try to find a different target here today. This is up because it had a ridiculous sell-off yesterday, right? We came down and closed right around 286. It's at 450 here today. This thing's thin, moves around. Yesterday, this thing was up big and just kind of came back in all day. It just bled all day. Bled in the pre-market, bled in the regular session, never really bounced. I don't trust this one until I see it, so be careful here on Cero.
Yeah, I was wondering if this is just back for more. They were only up on a publication. I didn't think that news is really material to begin with. Just kind of a pump piece. So I don't want my account to go to Cero, so I'm going to stay away from Cero.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I do see what you did there.
trying to make this a funny show like everybody wanted. So anyway,
hang on a sec. Okay. Next here on the list, we already talked a little bit about PRCH AIRE. This was being mentioned by several people in the chat, I believe. Miles, you were looking for this one. Good morning, by the way, Miles. AIRE Re-Alpha Tech Core. Now, this popped twice here this morning. If we take a look at the news here, I again don't see anything fresh here. Help me out if I'm missing something here. AIRE, this trading up here, trying to test two. We've actually really kind of come back in, retraced about 75% of that move. We are beneath the VWAP here. So the first thing for me is going to be, can we hold? Can we get some volume to flow in here? And can we make a move back to that VWAP?
AIRE has 6.75 million share float. So, not too hard to push around. I don't see the news. I think you were mentioning that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this stock, and I don't have enough to make a decision on it.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. We'll see. Now, this one you do have more information about. SOUN. This has been actually a great trader for us across many days. There's been multiple opportunities to trade this one. Looks like we're going to get another one here today. Had a huge run yesterday on volume that we were able to call out here. I didn't play this one, sadly. This would have been the trade of the day here. Now looks like we're taking another leg higher here. So we're actually above yesterday's intraday high. We're pushing away from the VWAP right ahead of this open here, which is in about 5 minutes. SOUN, definitely add this one to your list. This one looks like this is going to continue to move up here.
Yeah, one of the levels I have is 730, but I think 650 is the big level it needs to get over right now. Then we could probably head into that 730 area. So 650 is what we need to break next. It looks like, looking at my price ladder here, we have a good amount of sell orders between 640 and 655. So definitely an area it needs to get through. If the volume comes in, it's going to take those out. We could absolutely just rip in this thing for a little bit like it has in the past.
Yep. So keep your eye on that one. Gap here. Gap shares are trading higher if the company reported better than expected earnings. I'll be honest, I'm not going to trade Gap, but I did want to mention it because we're gapping up on Gap. That's ticker GPS. You got anything on Gap you wanted to cover real quick?
This is the apparel company, right?
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing that was brought up yesterday in Happy Hour was how apparel could be an interesting semaglutide play as folks that are using that. And there's an increasing number of them that are starting to use the GLP-1 semaglutide like Ozempic to reduce their weight and other conditions. They're losing weight. So they're going to need
more than that, they're losing it quickly, which means they often have to then replace wardrobes. That's a good point.
So that's the only interesting angle I can think of Gap, but I don't know anything else about what's going on with the company at the moment.
Okay. Next one here is going to be Rivian. Now, Rivian, we got some news about some of the new vehicles yesterday. You can see Rivian actually had a great day yesterday. It looks like it's trying to carry that on today. Question for me is, do we have a continuation trade here in Rivian? I have no position in this. I know EVs are still out of favor. I was never a huge Rivian fan to begin with. I will say I think the crossover SUV actually looks cooler than the truck. But that really doesn't matter for trading plans. I think the Lucid looks the best of all of the electric vehicles, and that stock can't get out of its own way. So I'm not really sure how cool the car is actually matters to the stock price here. We are trading up here on Rivian. There's a ton of information about that. I'm sure you can find clips of some of those cars that were being shown yesterday. So Rivian looks like this is on deck. I don't like this long, though.
Yeah, I think this was moving up one of the previous days this week, and one of the reasons I mentioned was that it was unveiling a new model. So this move that we're seeing today isn't unsurprising because we got this a big move yesterday as well. But we're also kind of squeezing a bit too because it's pretty highly shorted. Just the days to cover isn't really at the metric that we're looking for, but it's squeezing a bit. I don't know. If it sets up a trade, I'll probably trade it, but I don't know that I'd trade this because the float is so large.
Okay. Good stuff there. Okay. 2 minutes to showtime. I'm going to try to blaze through some of these. Wakimi, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry if I'm not. Please correct me if I'm not. Ticker NVO asking about Novo Nordisk here. Now, of course, this traded up yesterday, stopped at about 138. Looks like it kind of sold off here today. If we review some of the news here, yesterday it was the some of its drugs having this weight loss of about 13.1% after 12 weeks. They're basically saying that the oral formulation it produces really, really good results. This would be very positive for people that are like scared of needles, that maybe don't want to take some of these weight loss drugs that involve needles. So that's what's going on with Novo Nordisk. Looks like Novo Nordisk executive said hopes to launch oral version of amycretin. I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing that right for obesity, at least within this decade. So at least within the decade, that apparently, I mean, is that what's driving it down? I don't want to say that because I don't know for sure, but it's like, man, you're not really, I mean, a decade, a lot can happen in a decade.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know on that one. Real quick, another great mention here from one of our Twitter viewers. GOEV reverse split as of today, right? So that is effective as of today. GOEV here. 268 was the high in the pre-market. I'm probably not going to trade this one, but that was a great mention on the reverse split. Jay mentioning Eli Lilly here. This is also a good mention here. The FDA putting the hold on the Alzheimer's drug. Looks like Eli Lilly did trade down a little bit, but it's relatively flat here. We are open. Let's see what we're going to do. Of course, I am going to flip over to my broker, which is Trade the Pool here. They also sponsor our stream. So if you need help getting over the day trading threshold or you need $250,000 in buying power, they are the group to check out. Great guys. They help us out a lot. Let's get rolling here. Oh, I got to get my chart up. Darn. Darn. Okay, nothing really hitting. Oh, I got to adjust my calendar here real quick.
Looks like PBM.
Oh, that is today. There we go.
Is trying to find support about 240. We'll
PBM, huh?
Yeah, because it's starting to move up after kind of bouncing off that near that level. Porch down. else we got here?
I'm taking a starter for a swing trade in RVNC in the main account. Okay, so in my main account, taking a starter position here. This is one we discussed yesterday. Possible bottomed out chart, looking like maybe a move back to 10. I've got the 200-day at 14, current price at 6. Looking for some pretty good risk to return there. So just opened a starter position, RVNC. This is going to be a swing, so I don't think more than a month in terms of its hold time. PBM continuing to trade down here.
Yep. Going down to probably the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, which I have at about 202. So $2 level is probably going to help catch that as well.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind, first of all, I love the Scarface avatar. I mean, I just got to say, Scarface is always going to get dubs in my book. If you had a TV mounted on your ceiling that did nothing but play Scarface, I'd think you're an original gangster. But if you could tell me how to properly pronounce your name, I will practice it and make sure I don't screw it up in the future. And you're more than welcome for Palo Alto. But don't forget, you're the one that took the risk and pressed the buttons. So don't forget to give yourself a pat on the back. Morning Jeff D's in all caps, dude. Let's go.
He had his coffee.
He sure did. I mean, he knows not to use caps. He comes in here. He says, I'm going to blow you away.
Yeah, I'm going to make some caps. I'm going to bust some caps. So APM is kind of accelerating out of the gate here. It's a little bit slow moving, but it's got some pretty good movement. $9 is the next target level that I have for this one. I'm not in it right now. I think I'm a little bit late to the movement.
This is right back to yesterday's pre-market consolidation area as well. GRFS, this was on the list here. This actually taking a move up out of the open there. MindMed, which we talked about. This looks like this is going for 10. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Miles has been telling us AISP all morning. This is the Hindenburg yesterday. So this is accelerating out of the gate. We broke the 580 level that we had. 630 is the next one. It looks like it could keep moving up for the moment. I don't know what the news catalyst is that's pushing this, but it's got some pretty good setup here.
Okay, let me know if anyone else has that.
And APM is now halted, the one I was mentioning previously.
Yep. You are correct. Halted to the upside at 804. This is the first halt of the day. APM.
PBM is really starting to move now.
Here we go on PBM. PBM at the top end of that pre-market range right in here. Let's see if it can get above that. I've got that spot, 288. Looks like the volume stopped printing at 290. Most volume here, shelf, about 283 PBM. PBM coming back in now after that.
Porch, still down. Same with AIMD. That one's still going down. AIMD, looking to see if it can find some support around 230.
PBM trying to come back into its VWAP.
Let's see.
PBM trying to go here. This is a great move on PBM. 290. Let's see if they take that out here and through. Looks like 292 was your high. 293 was your high print.
Here we go.
Now we're going higher. Here we go to 3. Great call on PBM. We're going to get a cash register ring. Oh, big pop on PBM. Let's go. You guys are crushing into that. Hopefully you're taking your gains on that pop there, at least some of it.
Okay, 320 is the next big area.
I got exactly that. I was just looking at that. 320. We actually went up there and almost printed it. Printed 319s on that pop.
Yeah, so we're going to want to see it kind of hold above. Well, if it holds above 3, that'd be better. I'm sorry, not 3. If it holds above 290, that's good. We still need it to hold VWAP here. Might trade down a little bit, but it's setting up to go higher. And that 320 is going to. Let me put some levels in so I can get.
Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. This has me wanting to look at MNMD, which is actually relatively flat. So good job. We're on the one that's actually producing the move here. Great job, 13.
So thanks. So there's a gap here with PBM that could fill. It's between $4 and about $4.60, I think. So if I think we could end up trading really fast up to there and then come back in. That's also where The 65 EMA is on the daily. So 4 to 460, I think, is going to be a pretty quick move in this one if we get up there. So
and you know what? Volume looking really, really good here on this name. We did get that expanding volume. It continues to grow from the open here. 330, your high print now. Let's see if we go higher here. We did take out that high by 1 cent. Going to back it off a little bit, and let's see if we go higher.
Just going to look around. Okay, so it looks like AIMD might be turning around.
AIMD.
Not to take our eyes off the one that's doing really well right now.
Well, I mean, it's ripping right now. They brought in a bid. This actually might get halted here if they keep pushing this up on volume. This was an absolute monster. Great job,
baby.
Great job. There, we're going to get halted here. 342 if this holds. Bids are lining up. Halt. PBM. Big winner early on. Let's go.
All right. Let's move on to the next one now.
Dude.
AIMD trying to push up. I think OCEA was getting a mention. Okay, so that one bounced off of
okay. I'm flipping over to my broker. Enough of this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Enough of this though. We're gonna actually start looking for some trades here. We've waited enough here. Porch, by the way, looks like it might try to reclaim that VWAP. Okay, what ticker did you have there? I'm sorry.
OCEA. It's moving off the 555 level. It's starting to get a lot of volume coming in, breaking through this pre-market supply. We're trying to take out 623. And I see a big amount of sell orders at 6. So let's see if we can eat that. Then 610.
Mara ripping here. Bitcoin trading up to the highs on volume. By the way, Bitcoin might test 70,000 here today. Wouldn't that be something?
Ooh, that
wouldn't that be something?
I think, we were talking about how miners may not be in as good of a position as some of these other, like maybe ETFs and coin like the exchanges. I think coin's going to be a better play than some of these miners, as I don't think they have as many overhead costs as the miners do. So just something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about some of these miners really not doing a great job. We talked about that recently here. Again, my whole thing is that's not my favorite trade. My favorite trade is just owning the coins.
OCA through 6.
Jeff saying FOMO for Ryan. No, Ryan's doing a really good job here. Ryan was late to that PBM trade, did not get a fill, did not chase it on the way up, although I guess it would have worked going into that halt, but nonetheless. Bex calling Smith & Wesson here, SWBI, this ripping out of this didn't have earnings, did it?
No, we got earnings. We got earnings from another gun maker, I think, and it's moving in relation. Here we go. OCA is really starting to move now. We're testing the 623 area. Trying to get through that.
Smith & Wesson did report earnings on the top and the bottom line. This was last night, not this morning. So there you go on Smith & Wesson. Let's take a look at OCEA. There you are. OCEA going higher here. Yeah, Robert, look, I'm with you on that one. I was just a little late flipping over to the chart because I was rolling through some things. Couldn't get it. But you know what? Didn't chase. There'll be another opportunity, and we'll hit it.
Looks like we have some good movement from Zim out of the gate. So just, I know that I think you're in that one. So I'm keeping a second eye on this.
Yeah. Jake Crandall asking if we can check on ticker May. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to offend any of the other Commanders fans. We're going to draft a huge bust, and then the Commanders fans are going to be all pissed. I don't necessarily want to do that here today, Jake, but it's great to see you. By the way, what's going on with Chelsea, dude? What on earth is going on with Chelsea? They got to turn something around. Anyway, great to see you here this morning. Still waiting on PBM to come out of that halt.
APM is out of their halt, and they're going to go to that $9 level that I mentioned earlier. We're almost there, and we're there, and we're through.
Chelsea's awful. Happy Friday. Oh, Jake, love it.
So
APM really pushing here. Yeah.
APM, awesome. There was one I was just looking at because I wanted to mention something about it. What was that one? Saro. Wouldn't you know it? It's still going down.
See, we knew early, right? We learned our lesson yesterday. We knew early. We knew what to do, and perhaps more importantly, what not to do. Saro looks like this is going down. Mira on the move, says Crow. Let's take a look here at Mira.
I bet Saro ends up like bouncing. Maybe it gets down to about, down closer to 3, maybe 315 or so, and then it reverses. That'd be hilarious, but it's possible.
Mira is popping up. Pop to that VWAP here. Let's take a look at Sound. That's also getting mentioned here.
Ooh.
Sound that is trying to break out here. You are right about that. This area right here, I got that at 624, maybe 625. High print of the day, 628. I don't really see anything crazy on the level 2 here. Nice little bid there at 615. That's a healthy bid.
Yeah, it really does look like it wants to get over 625 with some authority.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's been trying to it tried to break out twice since we opened, and it has been rejected. So I think maybe the next trip up it's successful, but the volume really does need to expand a little bit more than this.
You know, here we come on sound. There is that huge bid here at 615. I'm almost thinking maybe trying some of it here, stop beneath that. I mean, let's see it. Let's see what happened.
It just got eaten up.
Oh my God, did they crush that? Okay, well, glad we didn't do that. I mean, holy smokes, dude, that was so much volume.
Yep.
Let's see if this holds here and maybe bounces. This is VWAP level.
If I'm looking for, maybe it goes down to 6. There's some, but be careful there too, because that size, that level down there has got a lot fewer bids than that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. PBM is open. PBM is open. First move here was higher. Now it's coming back in on PBM.
All right, so let's see if we get a support at 315.
Oh my God.
I think we'll probably look for support at 315, and then this will take us to 4.
Another big pop through that 350 level. I'll tell you what, a lot of volume traded at that 350 level. Here we go. New highs, 369. Nice. Your high print here so far on PBM. We'll see if that keeps moving higher.
And remember, there's a gap between 4 and 460. So there's a possibility that we could see some pretty big move between those two levels. Yes, go Zim, go.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some other stuff here. Okay.
I think you were right about Archer. That was a great opportunity yesterday.
Yeah, it sure was.
Now look at it. It's at 460 again.
Yeah, I mean, look, I couldn't figure out why it was selling off like that, and my only conclusion was that we had some type of either liquidation, maybe even a fat finger or something. That really kind of drove it down to that 60 cents off those flush lows. PBM looks like it's getting a little heavy here, coming back into a 330 handle off that 369 high.
Yeah, it's going to have to hold that. I think it needs to hold 315 in order for this move to not be over. Otherwise, it'll have to wait for it to set up again.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're down below 315. We're going lower. Glad I'm not in that one. That's a bad looking knife.
I was going to say, this is, again, why we're not chasing here. OCGN, this kind of holding up here. Looks like this popped. Rivian is ripping. Vic's calling Rivian here.
And sound is trying to go as well. Got some support.
Rivian, new highs now here on Rivian. Sound is trying to go through that level that we talked about. 630's got some size here.
Yeah, this one could get moving. Let me just put a level in at 650 since I know that's been resistance.
Zakia saying, "Oh my God, PBM, glad I sold." That's trading for you right there.
Yes,
That's
it is
trading for you. Don't worry. Again, if you sell something and you want to get back in, you can rebuy it. But booking your gains when you have some action like this, really, really important.
Yeah, when you see your move, happening and the move is over, your plan for that move is over. Yeah, then if you're out, you're out. And that's great. You've done what you intended to do.
AIMD here looks like maybe we're curling off the bottom here. This bottom actually looks pretty good. This is also the pre-market level here. That was 248, so we're a good 20 cents up off that bottom. Got the VWAP here at 290. We'll see if we can close the gap there to the VWAP.
It's not moving right now, but PIK, this was from yesterday. This is setting up to try to take out 335. It's been trading ever since we closed yesterday. It's been trading up to about that level and getting rejected, and now that trade up and rejection is starting to get more frequent. So at some point, I think we're going to see a break over that the 335 level in PIK. Just something to watch.
Tuna mentioning that PBM might be bouncing off its VWAP here. PBM.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to find some support there. I think it needs to get back above 315, 320.
Gonna flip through some other names I see here on the scanner. This AIMD looks like this might be going towards the VWAP here. I'd actually
Yeah,
I
it
want
looks
to
like
try
it's turning
some of
around.
this. Yeah, I kind of want to try some of this. I'm going to try some right here. This. Oh, did I get filled? Nope.
I'm gonna. It looks like I want to try that. I mean,
There we go. I got filled. I got filled. So we're good here.
I'm just gonna wait on this one. I want to see it a little bit
Oh,
higher.
they brought in a huge bid right where I got filled, and then it got crushed. Let's see if we can get back to VWAP here. 290 is what we're looking for. Come on. Come on. You were just showing that upside move.
Yeah, but they're running into EMA.
Yeah, I know. Let's see if we can get up there. 285's got that little bit of size. It looks like it wants to go there. Come on, volume. Come on, volume. There we go. There's 285.
We need that on a shirt.
Come on, volume. Yeah, that's a good one. Here comes 290.
I say that to myself a lot.
Oh God, I don't want to give up on this. Oh, it's right back down to where I bought it. Damn it. At 290 spot. We'll see if we get up there. At 285, they took that pretty quick. That gave me some hope that we'd actually go up to this 290. Let's see if we can get back up to VWAP here. Come on, take that out. Take that out. Come on, volume.
No, I think you're going to run into a good amount of resistance. I mean,
yeah, I think I'm actually debating taking this off right here. I'm not
or
really
or at least takes them off like a little bit.
Yeah, it's only 300 shares though. I mean, come on. Come on, show us the move. Just give us the move. There we go. There we go. Patience pays. Let's go. Get back up to that 290. Come on, you can do it. There it is. There it is. Up above. All right, and we're out.
Nice.
There, see, that's all we had to do. All we had to do was be a little bit patient. Let's see if this keeps running here. A good little scalp there on AIMD. Great call, whoever brought that one up, by the way.
And great
Who was
trade.
that?
Great
Who
trade,
was
Ryan.
that?
Oh my God.
All right, coming back in. Looks like it stopped there at 3. Green on the screen, 1 for 1 today. Better than starting off 0 for 1 like I did yesterday. PBM, Smoke Tuna called this bounce off the VWAP. Looks like this is still happening. See if we can go back up to the highs here. 350. Got a little size here at 355, but that's nothing. That's nothing. That's going to get blasted through, isn't it?
Well, it can hold here. It should. I mean.
There it goes. There goes the flush. Man, now I want to come on volume shirt, Joe. God.
Come on, volume.
Come on, volume. AISP getting mentioned here. AISP doing a good job coming off that VWAP. RVNC, that's moving up here. All right. Let's get back to double digits on RVNC.
APM is knocking on the door of 10.
God, this is what a ripper APM was.
Yeah.
All like, good, Jeremy. APM still ripping here. That was a good one. Volume looks good here on APM too. PRCH, Crush Peach. See if PRCH can bounce off this 340 area. It's trying to hold. Held this yesterday, by the way, in the after hours. PRCH. What do we got with some of the bigger stocks here? Nothing's really flashed up on my screen. You know what? Goldman Sachs looks the strongest as some of the bigger stocks that I watch here. And we talked recently with Jay about financials being strong. How's JP Morgan doing? Financials strong again here today.
Let's see.
And the SPY's up. So to that point about money leaving the market, I think we're getting another data point here showing that money's just rotating from different stocks to other stuff, from stock to stock, right? I don't think that it's necessarily leaving. These banks look strong here again, Jay.
Let's see. Just kind of looking through my list of what I'm holding on to. Oh, look at that. MGA is still going up.
MGA?
This is the auto parts one that I was getting into earlier this year and still working on getting into.
Yehuda asking for thoughts on coin. Okay, so full disclosure here, my account is a Coinbase account, so I'm actually a product user. If that factors into your bias, do whatever calculus you need to do. I will say Coinbase has been good for me. I know they've run into their problems, but it's never really affected me. I like the interface. Now, the stock itself, the stock has been absolutely ripping. I think that this is actually a better trade than stocks like Mara and Riot, if you can afford to do it. Given the recent huge move, I would try to be adding this on weakness. I'd look for this at support levels and try, instead of trying to chase a move where the stock's already up. Monster. I do like the company and the product.
One of my thoughts on Coinbase is they are one of the most recognized, Bitcoin exchange companies. So, with all the volatility in Bitcoin lately, and it seems like there's a lot more investors piling into it right now. Coin stands to gain a lot from transaction fees.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to end up doing pretty well with this, and in some cases even better than those miners, because they don't have such costs of having to mine Bitcoin. They just, they're working on exchanging it and getting money from the exchanges. So I think and
they're a huge account holder base. They have a huge account base. By the way, Eli Lilly, Jay gave us that news about the Alzheimer's drug. Eli Lilly continuing to trade down here now that the market is open. Eli Lilly at the lows. Hey, Robert made some money on APM. You'll get a register ring for that one, my man. Good stuff. See, that's why you ended up waiting, not chasing, being a little bit more patient and booking the gain. Robert, that's exactly what we want here. Great process. Great process.
Yeah, APM looks like this is going to have a pretty good day. And I'm going to wait and see if this can come in and kind of, make a little bit of a curling or rounding bottom. And then I'll look at it again and see if we can find an entry to have it take off, because we've seen a lot of stocks run up in the morning, sell off, curl, and then
give you another chance later. Yep, bingo.
Good times.
Good times indeed. Good times indeed. Mark saying getting nervous about Mira here as the volume's dropping. Yeah, volume dropping off, all selling volume, new lows here on Mira. Maybe something changes here. It just doesn't look great. You're welcome, Robert. Thanks for joining us here today, and thanks for participating. Carvana, by the way, this up in the pre-market and up out of the gate. There was some news here on Carvana. Let me get that for you. I think it was a price target readjustment. Yeah, RBC Capital upgrades Carvana. So not just a price target, an actual upgrade. RBC Capital upgrades Carvana to sector perform, raises the price target to 90. RBC, the note that the note that's right above that, RBC Capital gives up on bear case against Carvana. Maybe they were short squeezed out of that. Who knows? That price target, by the way, went from 45 to 90, and Carvana's short interest still relatively high here, almost 42% in 5 days to cover.
And then you also have Root that's still trying to squeeze up some more. And I think 45.50 seems to be the big level it needs to get over. As you look at the past few trading days, it's gone up there and then retreated.
13, thank you so much. I asked you yesterday to remind me about Root. I completely forgot about it until you just reminded me about it. And you're exactly right. That 45 level. Look at this. Several days in a row, the stock has really run up to that 45.50 area and has been rejected there. If we can take that out, this probably goes higher. Keep in mind, though, look how extended this is recently. The stock was $9, $8 and change, and is now 45. It was $8 on February 22nd, folks. It's March 8th. So huge run here on Root. Be careful. APM getting mentioned here, or excuse me, PBM. Oh no, APM. Both of them are getting mentioned, and it's confusing me. Let me start with PBM. PBM here. This looks like this actually had a refresh seller at 324 right in here. It could not get above this. It kept banging at that. Now we're rolling back over. VWAP looks like the next step here for PBM. Let's look at APM now. Sorry, it's not easy to stay on top of that. This thing's an absolute monster. I agree, Smoke Tuna. Absolute monster here. This continuing to move up. I think an 11 test coming here right away.
Yeah, 1250 is the next big level I have for this one.
I was rolling through all those charts on the wrong broker there. I'm sorry, folks.
It's okay. We got a really in-depth look at the one you had up, though.
That's true. Jay reminding us here on Carvana Kerrisdale, which had a short report on that, getting smoked. We saw a short. What was the stock that we saw a short report on by Bear Cave yesterday? I know.
No. By Bear Cave. Oh, that was Archer.
Archer, right? So, oh, that's what that was, right? So,
Yeah.
smoked tuna. So, this Archer drop yesterday. This is actually funny. A little bit of research that I did. So, Archer here, we had a short report from the Bear Cave on Archer, and that's what actually drove this down to 4. Now, you've seen how strongly this bounced. It's also worth noting they had a short report last year on Airbnb when it was 117. It's 166 today. So, the different houses, they have different success rates. Let's put it that way. Jay reminding you here that Kerrisdale got absolutely wrecked on that squeeze. Absolutely wrecked.
Bear Cave is reports are bullish then, I guess.
Well, so far, we have not. Someone, you guys are welcome to give me examples to change my opinion here, but the stocks that I looked at that Bear Cave did reports on, that didn't go down. PBM getting mentioned here by Smoked Tuna. Rivian, by the way, pulling back into the VWAP. You might get an opportunity there. PBM did yank to the VWAP and is now trying to go higher here, Smoked Tuna. VTYX getting called in the chat. Let's take a look at that. Oh, my God. VTYX staircase up here. This one's still moving. And look at this gap. Where is this gap fill? VTYX gap fills here at 1430. Got about another $3 worth of movement in there if you think this gap fills. I got the 200-day at 1932 above that.
Thank you, Smoked Tuna. PBM is doing a thing.
Sure is. Take a look at OCEA too, which looks like that's moving here. That threw the VWAP here.
All right, are we going to get our 4 tests in PBM?
350 first. That's coming right here. Bang, right through it.
Oh, they're just Pac-Manning right through this.
But see, that's the thing. They went right through 350 to 355, and now they're yanking it. 330s now, 320s now. Look at the 1K calls on NVIDIA. Oh, my God. I'm actually seeing some NVIDIA flow after that. That was actually a really good mention there. Vinci.
AISP. She flying again?
There are lots of sweeps on NVIDIA, by the way.
Yeah,
lots
AISP.
of option flow there. AISP flipping to it?
Yeah, it's headed up towards 630. This is what happens when you go from Hindenburg to Dorothy. She's flying, baby. She's flying.
RVSN, big move here. Any of you that were trading Rail Vision here, I'm really hoping that you sold into that pop. That's awesome. CrowdStrike having a rebound after those earnings. Man, so Jay, that's what I mean about some of these big stocks. They huge swings. This was 315 yesterday. 335 now. We're half an hour into the session. Got a 20-point move off the lows from yesterday on CrowdStrike.
PBM isn't finished. It's making new highs.
Apple at the highs here. We're getting a regression to the mean on Apple. You know, one of the things, if you take a look at the daily chart here and you look at where this is kind of forming a bottom, you could make the case that this is probably a bottom here, and this might be a nice little swing long back towards that 200 on Apple. I know that this chart might be difficult to see. Let me know if you need me to blow this up, folks.
Yeah, I still, I said earlier that Apple could trade back up, but I'm looking for it to get resistance at about 174, 175. So we'll
still 4 or 5 points away here. APM, by the way, pull back to the VWAP for any of you that want to try trading this again. It's very, very spready.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch APM right here.
Yeah, especially looking at the volume here. We just broke through the VWAP, by the way. Volume drying up and turning into selling volume. PBM, on the other hand, new highs on PBM.
How high does a drug company go?
Depends what the drug is. Am I right?
Mushrooms. No, this one's doing really good. I'm still looking for that gap to fill between $4 and $4.60. We're getting pretty close.
Sorry, I just had to do a double take to make sure that I saw that Portillo's was green. That would almost be 2 days in a row, and that can't be right.
And
but it is.
Palantir trying to stay above 7.
Rustam, good morning, Rustam. You want to take a look at Rumble here? Rumble, this is actually a really good call. Rumble moving here, I guess maybe after yesterday's political back and forth. I don't know. Rumble here, nice little pop there on volume. Coming back to the VWAP. Let's see if we can get above it and build. VKTX getting mentioned. Into the gap on the downside. Into the gap. Let me actually look at this on another chart here real quick.
All right, PBM, what do you got for us? You got taking us
I'll
to
bring
4?
that up while you're talking about it while I'm charting on a different screen here. That's how we maximize, baby.
Looks like volume's slowing down a bit. Just needs to kind of expand, and we can go through 4.
It's flagging right up here. It looks like it wants to go higher here. This stock is strong today, man. Strong. Now, VKTX. Okay, so we talked about this one yesterday. I have to bring this up here. Do we have a trade imminent here on PBM? Yeah, it looks like we do. Okay, I'm going to cue this chart up. We're going to take a look at VKTX here real quick. I actually talked about this on the happy hour yesterday, and I outlined a potential trade for this. I'll give that here to you. It's at an inflection point, so we'll see if that's going to work here. PBM sure looks like this is going to go 370 here. 383, your intraday high on that last pop. I see some size 374 and 5.
Ooh, there's a bid right there that could help lift it. Oh, now it's getting chewed up. Yeah, it might. I mean, if it doesn't do it right now, as long as we can, stay up here, we should be able to get through 4. But it's starting to look like this is going to kind of pull back a bit. Just need that volume to expand more.
Name can't be blank. Boy, I tell you what, we got the handle game turned up to 11 recently. Absolutely love that. Rustam saying, Ryan, you sound very energetic and cool. Coffee does wonders for you in the morning, especially on Fridays. Name can't be blank is PBM an IPO from a few months ago. I have the first candle here I have on January 26th of this year. Let me check in a second. Maybe this was a conversion ticker change or something. I don't know off the top of my head. He goes on to say, if PBM is a new IPO from 2 to 3 months ago, it's getting launched through that day one price as well. So real quick, what he's talking about here is this, the top here. That is, I have that value, by the way, at 393, and we are curling up to that. So you're right on that. If PBM goes up to that 393 and blasts through it, especially on the volume it's doing now, this thing could get wild here.
I think you're right about the ticker change, because I'm looking at a daily chart, and it goes from April of 2016 all the way over to January of 2024. So unless it's missing 8 years, yeah, this is a new IPO with a recent or previously used ticker. Or it's just it's a different company. I don't know what PBM was before then.
Jay. I love this. I love that you're going out on a limb like this. I don't even care if you're right. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do care, but I'm not gonna criticize you, because this is awesome that you're taking a step out there. Write this down. March 22 is the Reddit IPO. That's when I think we top. That makes a lot of sense to me, mostly because I've been in a bear camp. By the way, PBM pulling back to the VWAP here now, for those of you that are watching. I like this, Jay. The one thing that I'm kind of thinking, we've done in Happy Hour, we've done a lot of talk about the Databricks IPO. And I don't know when Databricks is coming. I'll say this, though. I've recently started to kind of teach myself how to prompt AI tools better by watching some YouTube videos. I understand that there are some courses out there. Maybe that's the route I go in the future, but I'm starting off with the free content here on YouTube. And when I watch those videos, there are tons of mentions of Databricks. There are ads for Databricks. There are commercials for Databricks. This thing's going to be huge with AI. So the Reddit IPO, the Discord IPO, the Databricks IPO, those are the 3 that I think the public are going to latch onto. I can see an absolute case here for March 22 being the top with that Reddit IPO, Jay. I absolutely can see that.
Or it's going to be the next meme stock.
University of YouTube. That's for real, though, Jeff. Sorry, go ahead. 13.
I agree. I haven't said anything about Reddit being the top, but I have mentioned Reddit's IPO being this month before they actually had a date tied to it, and I think that's going to be a pretty interesting stock right out of the gate, because of how many people and how many retail traders know about Reddit and what it is. So I think that's going to get quite a bit of attention when it IPOs.
Yeah. I think you're right on that. By the way, SGD, this got mentioned here. Penny stock players win again, as this stock that was 70 cents yesterday, printing 225 here today, 60 cents yesterday. This is an absolute beast. You guys are absolutely right. DS, best stock for today. Look, if you guys are trading some of these penny stocks, you are absolutely right about this. What a rip here. This has been halted. How many times has this been halted? Let me check on my other page here real quick.
Yeah, it looks
SGD,
like
this has been halted 6 times. Yeah, 6 times halted right now.
Looks like PBM is getting ready to go again.
I was just going to say, but you're already on top of it. What a guy. What a guy. Reddit has become suck. Paul, the one thing I will say is that I don't ever remember setting this up. This kind of just happened. I will occasionally get notifications of some new thing on Reddit, and some of them are funny, right? They're funny interactions. The people that post their Tinder conversations. I mean, oh God, it's painful. It's so painful. It makes me so glad that like app dating was never a thing for me, because oh my God, is that painful. Anyway, I digress here. Ryan, now you are qualified as a prompt engineer. Next is senior prompt engineer. Did you see the salary on those Reddit execs? No, I didn't. But Jay, I can imagine that those are probably pretty ridiculous. Can you confirm that?
Looks like AIMD is taking off here, trying to get through this big wall at 290.
Yeah, that's through the VWAP here. AIMD, that's a great call. 13.
Oh, it couldn't.
At 290 wall right there. You're right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's trying again.
I'm trying some. We're going to pop through it. I'm out. Come on, pop through this. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Come on, volume.
I was just thinking the same thing. We're going to come back in now, though. Not going to go on that first attempt here. Did that build too? Did I just see that?
It went up.
Get bigger? Okay.
Watch a whale just come in here and just nom.
Nom.
Here
Actually,
we go.
it just dropped there. It got trimmed a little bit there, and they're refilling it, and now it's coming back in. Okay, let me see. I'm just going to kind of hold this here.
Yeah, it's still trying.
I'm going to give this a little bit of a leash here, because remember, this is the one we already made some good gains on the last time we popped here. We're effectively trying to do the same thing, buying it a little higher here, trying to play it through that wall here. See if we get another attempt here at that.
Just gotta keep my eyes looking at some other stuff while.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Looks like PBM is still wanting to. Okay, PBM is starting to move a little bit here. It needs a little bit more volume to get up to 4. It's on the way. Looks like AIMD is just getting heavily rejected now.
Yep, but I still don't see this breaking down yet. I'm actually.
What a fight this is.
I know this is a fight, and it's tempting me to add more, which I don't like. Yeah, that might come back in. Looks like it's struggling with the VWAP now. Just give me some of that volume flow here.
Then once all the weak hands leave, because we're all seeing the same thing, then they break through.
And that's the thing. I'm trying to use the fact that I already made money on this name earlier as a way to not get flushed out, as a way to not be those weak hands. By the way, PBM trading up towards that high here on PBM. Take a profit, walk around the house, repeat. Actually, I could get on board with that.
Yeah, but that would make this show very short. Or it would have big gaps in the programming.
I meant when I was not on, but
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, you're right about that. All right, this is AIMD refusing to break down here.
Yeah,
I should probably set a stop, right, in case I take this off. But then they're just going to flush me. I'm going to put my order out there. They're going to flush me.
Then put it below VWAP. Oh, here we go. Now it's going.
Oh, they just brought that. Look at that. Brought that offer down here to 283. They brought that offer down here. Let's see if they can break it down here. I'll tell you what, if they break it down here, they're going to unleash this thing higher.
Yeah. PBM still going higher while we're messing around with this thing.
They're starting to take some of it. Not a lot, though. We want to see more of that. It's coming. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Here we go. Okay, so there's still a little bit up there at 290, but they just ate that entire offer. I think this thing goes higher. Come on, pop through here.
Certainly
PBM
pretty good.
PBM actually not at new highs yet, but it's trying. Here we go.
Yep, and PBM now new highs.
Here we go. PBM new highs. Okay, let's see if let's see if AIM can go through 3 here.
It did. Oh, it's almost there.
It's coming right up to that 3. Come on. Give us 2 for 2 on this name. PBM new highs, by the way, on PBM.
Gorgeous.
Come on, take that out. There it goes. And we're out again. Big scalp through there. Let's go.
What
Did we top tick that? Did we top tick that? We might have.
Probably
318.
pretty close. Oh, I got about 310, 311, 310.
I got 39. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't quite top tick. A nice trade there, 13. Nice job. 2 for 2 today. Let's go. GE could be the best reverse split ever. I like your other comment earlier, Jay. Did they cure cancer? Well, I mean, if you take a look at that chart, that thing's been an absolute monster. And actually, someone did a mea culpa on this. Let me hang on a sec. Let me see if I can find. Look at GE just today. Big move here in GE. Let me. Oh, I screwed that up? Hang on a sec. Let me take a look here. Someone did a mea culpa on this one. JP Morgan upgraded the stock.
Wow, AIM really, really coming down after that move. That was
so we did it right. So we did it
well,
right.
I think that's about the best way you could say it. PBM. I'm sorry. Yeah, PBM is about to hit that 4. Let's go. Come on, gap us.
That was really good trading there in AIMD.
Yeah, that was awesome. There's a wall at 4, and then I think we're going to see some pretty big move here. Oh man, the sellers are coming in to stop it. Bulls are saying, "Get out of my way."
Yeah, this PBM.
We hit 4, trying to work our way through it though.
Hey, who was on Mira earlier? Maybe we did bottom. Who was watching this earlier? Was it Mark? Mark, were you out there? You were saying that the volume was really drying up. Maybe this bottomed now.
Let's go. Here we go. PBM. Are we going to get it? Oh man, more sellers coming in. They do not want this
I'll
thing
bring
to
up
break
PBM.
out.
That's where the action is right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Oh, here we go. Oh, just broke through and then came back in. They do not want this thing running, but I think that's what's happening.
Wild. Really good volume on this name too.
Let's go. Come on, take us up. Fill that gap.
So, oh my God, someone's calling Dog Z. I'm going to look at this on another screen because I hate this name. This is one of my most hated stocks. Yeah, I'm not even going to mess with that. You know what? I learned my lesson. I've donated more money than I even want to admit to the Dog Z BS fund.
Sellers really came in with PBM and pushed that back down under 4. They do not want this gap getting filled, but I still think that that's what is going to happen today. A lot of good volume here on this one. And a SPY up to 518 now. And that jobs report, it's exactly what, the Fed wants to see. So the market thinks, oh, hey, we're getting rate cuts sooner than later. Don't think that's happening, though. Oh, wow. PIK, this massive rejection after getting it up to that 335 level again. Ouch. Looks like a lot of things are starting to head down now. Except PBM, it's trying to hold itself up. What are you looking at there, Ryan?
I'm actually talking about our chat GPT, our Benzinga GPT. One of the reasons I'll just open the door to that. One of the reasons I'm doing some prompt lessons is that I've noticed that any GPT program, including the one that we're now offering, have I broke that news to the public? I don't know that I have. Maybe we'll do that right now. Should I just do that right now? It's Friday. Sure. What the hell? Let's do it. It's Friday. Okay, so real quickly, what I'm doing here, first of all, this is Benzinga Pro production. Let me open up the beta site. For anyone that has a Benzinga Pro subscription, you also have access to our beta site. That's where we test new features and new fixes. One of the things you need to understand is that that beta site is always under construction. So something might not work as expected if you're on the beta site. But one of the really cool features on the beta site right now is do I have it up here? Let's see if I have it up here. I don't think I have it up here. Let me create one. Oops. Go back here. One of the cool features here is we actually have a BZ GPT tool. So we have our own GPT tool that runs off the Chat GPT OpenAI engine, and it is connected to our Benzinga APIs. So you're actually able to get information about stock. Now, I know that you're not going to be able to ever ask this thing, what's the next stock that's going to go to the moon? And it's going to tell you. That's not how it works. But if you understand how giving better prompts are going to give you better results. So let me give you an example here. I wish I had this to copy. I wish I had Text Sniper so I could just copy this out of the screenshot that I had. Bummer. Let me just try and duplicate this. Okay, so I'll show you what this thing can do real quick. Again, still under construction. I want to be very, very quick. 13, interrupt me if you have to.
Okay, PBM is breaking out.
Okay, I'll get back to that here in a sec. You are a fund manager with 20 years experience. God, I cannot type at all. Experience of navigating complex markets. Produce a list of 10 stocks sorted in order, sorted sorted in descending order. This is why I don't like doing this. Well, I wish I had this produced ready for you. Produce a list of 10 stocks sorted in descending order in terms of price that are likely to show high growth in a high interest rate environment. Include PE ratio, valuation multiple, and year-to-date gains in a table format. Okay. Now we're going to press send. So we're going to tell the GPT tool, you are a fund manager with 20 years experience navigating complex markets. Produce a list of 10 stocks sorted in descending order in terms of price that are likely to show high growth in a high interest rate environment. Include PE ratio, valuation multiple, and year-to-date gains in a table format. So again, I'm trying to come up with a specific prompt for GPT to bound its endless answers and get the more specific answer. If I just asked it something, give me a list of 10 stocks with a high growth potential, and I wonder what happened here.
AISP went up to 629, which is just a penny shy of that 630 target I had. So if we can break through that, next level I have is 720.
Looks like it didn't take that. Here, let me ask the guy if he's still working on this. I was actually testing this last night. I'm sorry that this demonstration didn't work. But in any case, we are working on this as we speak. We're trying to give you a tool where you can interact with the AI, ask it questions, and have it give you some answers back. So it's still under construction, but I did kind of just want to let you know about that. This is one of the reasons why I'm working on better prompting, because the better prompt you give it, the better the answer is going to be. If you ask it very basic, general questions, you're not going to get really anything usable out of it. But in any case, I'm sorry that example fell flat. I will practice some of those and give you a tour of that next week. Let me make sure that the tool is actually working. Again, this is the deal. When you're on the beta site, sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. Unfortunate timing on my part. I will try and be 2% better next week. In the meantime, let's go back to trade the pool here. PBM broke out, and it did take out that high candle from when it first started.
Mm-hmm. And we almost filled that gap. Not quite yet, but hey, it might be getting a gap fill on this move here. 460 is the gap fill that I'm looking for. Some of these other names are just really strong today. By the way, I think it might be time for that Russell 2000 meme.
It did. Really? Okay, hang on. Okay, if you said that it's, let me prepare this. Let me prepare this. Just give me a sec here. I don't have it ready here, so I gotta download it.
No, I just think it's just funny to me because I think Independence Day is just one of those older movies that's really great. Okay, PBM falling down now, headed towards VWAP.
So it broke out there, and now it's kind of pulling back. Should give you another opportunity there. Let me. Okay, 13.
But whenever I think of the small caps having a really good day, I just think of Russell Case when he's all, "It's me, Russell Case, sir. I told you I wouldn't let you down."
I'm trying to get it. What is going on with this? Come on.
No worries. Let's just trade. It's fine.
No. This is pissing me off. Like, why is my computer not showing me all this old shit? I have a video from Jeff Dees here. Like, what the heck is going on? It literally just put it in my downloads folder, and it's not showing me my downloads folder. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? No, I'm doing this. I'm doing this.
I'm looking for more trade ideas.
Okay, here you go. You're going to have to explain this, though. Computer. Here.
Yeah, it's like I said. Every time the Russell 2000 has a really good day, this is just pops in my head. This guy, and you guys have seen the movie. You know what this is from. So that's in your brain.
Independence Day. I mean, anyone our age watched Independence Day 1,000 times.
Oh yeah,
growing up.
Because it was a great movie. It's a lot of fun.
Congrats on PBM, you guys. Okay.
And look, now PBM's coming back up to 4.
I was just flushing out some of those weak hands. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Oh, it's been a fun day. I hope we're doing well enough for you there. Who was that? Was that Gene? Gene wanted a fun day. We having a fun day, Gene? I'm just messing with you. Let's see here. What is moving? Looks like APM is trying to make a move back to VWAP right now. Things kind of just rolling over at the moment. PBM still trying to make that push back up to 4. It's getting it. Wow, Archer's still strong. And what do you guys? You think PBM's going down from here? It's topping out.
I think PBM has a VWAP test in its future today.
Well, that's not too far away. Yeah, I think that's definitely happening.
When you guys are off duty, do you call 13 Thert or Teen? I call him Joe. Sometimes I call him Jolo because of Lynn.
Yeah, here we're just using my chat name, I guess. AISP.
So real quick here, just kind of going back to that example from earlier. I'm not sure why it didn't produce an answer at first. It did here though. So I basically asking it the same question. And it said, here's a list of 10 stocks with a minimum market cap of 5 billion that have high growth potential in high interest rate environments, sorted by price in descending order. And it gave you Berkshire Hathaway and Booking.com, Chipotle, Mercado Libre, Merkle Group, AutoZone. So this is, like I said, this is the very, very early stages of our GPT tool. We are going to keep working on this. Part of the reason why I want to keep testing some of these prompts so much is because the better the data that you give it, the better this is going to be. And so this is kind of what I'm doing behind the scenes here. But you can see that especially when this gets really, really refined, how great this is going to actually be. And you really do want to have very, very specific, in-depth prompts.
These folks are funny with the whole
we got
name
the best.
thing.
We got the best community out there.
When your wife's mad at you, does she call you 12? No, that's my father.
I call him Broseph. Sometimes I do call him Teddy Roosevelt.
I've been called Broseph.
Yeah, I mean that's common.
Hey, high school left me with no shortage of useful names. So
Ryan, you get an A for effort. God, every time I heard that, I knew I was going to the bench. Man, oh man, a tough crowd here.
Oh man, that's bench warmers here. That phrase for sure.
Okay, we're having fun. On a Friday we're having fun on a Friday here. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, it looks like AISP was. I just had it on my screen. Let me bring it back here. Where'd it go? It was having a pretty good move when we were talking there. Okay, I'm just gonna type it in because I don't know where I went on my list. Went through 630. Next level I have is 720. It's it might go. I mean, not right this second, but it might get going here in a little bit.
Daniel's asking, can I connect my interactive broker account to Benzinga Pro? So you can sync your account positions and create a dynamic watch list on Pro, which can then be used as a filter. When you're saying, can I connect? I suspect part of that question might be, can I trade from Pro? The answer is no. You still want to trade and execute trades from your broker. Good question, though. Good question.
Looks like Rail Vision is trying to get over 280.
This is doing a decent job holding its VWAP here, some wicks to the top side.
Oh, we're getting mentioned that Bitcoin's about to.
Sure is. There it is.
Highs.
Bitcoin 70,000 prints on the futures. Let me actually see what the Bitcoin chart in Pro looks like. I'll flip over to that if it's notable.
Okay, well, we did it, folks. Bitcoin's come back up. Now, I wonder if all those folks that told everybody you should get Bitcoin, then it sold off. I wonder if they're all looking pretty good to their family members right now.
I've done a couple revenge tours because there were a number of people that told me that Bitcoin is done, it's over, you should have sold, you're dumb, and then it came back and went higher, and I was like, "Sup? What's going on? Where you at?" Crickets. Crickets is what you get for that.
Yeah. Mara was getting mentioned by Parker's Thinkorswim. So Mara getting a mention. That looks like it's a kind of setting up to go higher. Maybe take 35. I'm sorry, not 30. Not Mara. AI, but also Mara is setting up to go higher, and it's actually going higher. We're at 25 almost now. It's got to get through that. Looks like we're about to.
Real quickly here, I wanted to talk about VKTX earlier. I got completely sidetracked, and then I went off on a tangent, and then I fought the AI demon. So sorry, but as far as VKTX here, potential trade here, call this a floating island. You have a stock where the price pops to a new area here and creates this island. In fact, if you zoom out, you can see that is absolutely an island. There's nothing to the left of it. And what you want to see here is you want to see the range get carved out. So in this case, we've got a range from 58 up to 100. You want to see the back end of that range get tested before the stock curls back up to the high and then hopefully through that high. Now, what makes this difficult on VKTX is that this initial candle here is gigantic and it has a huge wick. So it's possible that this stock bounces off of the bottom of the body without fully coming all the way back into this $58 level at the bottom of the wick. So if you're looking for a potential swing long trade here, it's going to be either one of these. If this holds, this should curl back up towards 100. This is not financial advice, but I am watching this here, VKTX.
It's like AISP is making
this
higher
is
prints.
A great mention. Don't feel bad. Costanza wanted to name his kid 7. That was one of the best episodes of Seinfeld of all time. What do you want to name your kid? It's like, what? That's not a name. 7. I mean, it's just, that's a really good mention, Jay. I can really appreciate that. Huge Seinfeld fan.
I got double that on Seinfeld. My child's 14.
Ooh, take that. Take that. By the way, here is your Bitcoin chart. New highs here on Bitcoin. Look at that. New all-time highs. Bitcoin is dead. My foot.
Yeah, and yeah, AISP was going higher. Let me see where that's at now. It's come down. It's really crazy how Archer is just absolutely ripping today. After that short report, man, what an opportunity that was.
That sure was, man. And that gives us another data point. Bear cave reports, maybe buy that flush.
Yeah. What else we got here? I know I saw some other ones getting ready to set up. APM.
Let me run through them. Yeah, let me get my broker back up here. Let's do it. APM. Boom,
APM.
boom, boom.
It kind of needs to make a move up to and through VWAP pretty soon here. Otherwise, I think this is headed lower. Soundhound looks like it's going down. What are some of the ones we were looking at today? Oh, thank you, Smoke Tune. I didn't notice that.
Here, let me look. Let me get that list here from this morning.
Yeah, it's, Porch Group, PRCH. That one just, gone down all morning so far. But so this one could be something that sets up later in the day for a move.
AIMD was one of those. We absolutely murdered that as we traded that multiple times here today. SGD was another one of those. That is continuing to rip. This thing was an absolute halt fest, though. Frankly, I'm glad I didn't trade that because I don't do a good job trading halts. But SGD, this was a big mover, might be on its way down now. PBM, of course, and we've talked about that one ad nauseum here. Mira, Mark was watching this one earlier. Oh my God, Mark, please tell me that you made money off of this somehow. You were right. And I'm serious, because this is the stuff that bothers me. Like, he was right early on. He was just too early. Then the stock bottomed out and gave him a move right back to VWAP. I assume this is the move that he was waiting for, perhaps a pop through VWAP as well, which we didn't get yet. But Mira, this was also on the list. Cero, which we kind of joked about. Oh, look at that. Cero finally stopped selling. It actually went up a little bit. Yes, Mark.
That's CERE, though.
Oh, yeah. Hang on a sec. Registering. I'll this bothers me so. I don't know why it does this. This is the only broker that does it. So never mind. Cero never stopped selling.
Right on its way to Cero.
Oh my God, this was such a bad trade yesterday, but we made up for it today by smoking AIMD.
Miles mentioning APM, and it's going.
Let's do it. Right through that VWAP.
Trying to take out 988. Having a hard time. Yeah, I mean,
okay. So thinking about it, appreciate this. We were actually looking into this earlier. PBM was a SPAC. That's why the chart was at 10 for all that time.
Smoke tuna for me. I don't like those wicks being up there over the past few minutes on the 5-minute chart. But if it's going to hold these levels, then I don't think it's done. It just needs to start to make that move. I think for me, this needs to start going back down to VWAP and fall through it, and then I'll be taking my eyes off it. I'm not in it at the moment.
Kudos to you, though, 13, because one of the things that we do once we get off the show, we go our separate ways and take care of our day. But we always seem to reconvene in the Benzinga Pro Happy Hour chat channel later on in the day. And I got to say, you have done an exceptional job recently of keeping the targets that we look at in the morning fresh and on radar for the afternoon. That has allowed us to actually make some of these late day trades. And last week it was Fisker, right? It was Fisker. It was ticker FSR that had that late Friday rumor about Nissan buying it or whatever, gave great trades later in the day, even on Friday when most people cut out. Now it's going to be pouring rain here in the Chicago. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm going to be around. I look forward to doing some more trading here.
Yeah, and to the point you're making here, these morning movers are sometimes afternoon movers too. I mean, all through the happy hour chat for a good portion of the day yesterday, I was just talking about those three that were really kind of moving around. They were
Yeah.
LYT, IMRN, and BREA. They all had some pretty good action in the afternoon, especially LYT and IMRN. Those were really good movers. They just were setting up.
Didn't IMRN had just a wild after hours? Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, look at that. Look at that in the after hours. Man, that was probably the biggest move. But then it also had that, here's that volume ramp late day move that you were just talking about, 13. There it is.
Yeah, before that whole move happened, I was just mentioning, IMRN looks interesting. It's setting up, like it's constantly hammering that VWAP. And then moments later, it just starts taking off. So I was like, okay, well, this was a good find. But it's just like those things that if the setup's there and it looks like it could start moving, well, maybe it will. So just keep your eyes on it, and things like this happen. The morning is not just for these movers. You're
absolutely right. We do a good job setting the table, but it behooves the trader to keep these on. Ian here saying, I want to say thank you guys for doing this. Ian, you're more than welcome. And you know what? I want to reciprocate that. I want to say thank you to everyone here for joining us, especially you Twitter viewers. We really, really appreciate that. Come on over to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button, help out our algo. Maybe we can get more people in part of our community. I'll say that one of the things that I'm so jacked up about with this community is that the more people we get in here, the more eyeballs we have on our live scanner. So you guys are thanking us for doing this. Thank yourselves. You're part of it. You are part of it. So we absolutely appreciate that. That is awesome. That is awesome.
See that Brett Green wanted to ask me a LYT question.
Ask away.
What's your question?
And what is your crest? Do you have a family crest? That looks badass.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, I love this. And you Twitter guys joining us here. It's awesome. Look, you got stuff you want to shout out. You got stuff you want to take a look at. This is what we do this for. This is what we do this for. No one's out here promising you Lambos and mansions, but you know what? You work hard enough, all that stuff's on the docket.
I will promise you that if there's trades out there, we'll find them.
Yeah, Brett said that is a family crest. God, that's awesome. Okay, anyway, here's the question, 13. 13, question on lit. Yesterday at the second 3-minute candle, can you please explain how you accurately predicted $17?
Didn't use any of the candles. I just looked to the left. I saw that 17 was a previous level where it. Let me bring this up and I'll tell you exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd be happy to drive, but if you have your chart, go ahead and share it.
Let me just. Okay, so no, I'm just looking at my brokers because there's a lot more levels in LYT that I have, and if you, I'm using my broker, so it might be different in
that's okay. That's okay. We'll try and.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm seeing here is that LYT looks like it IPO'd, according to my broker's chart. It IPO'd in January 15th of 2022, had a big move up all the way to 47 before coming back down to under 10. Now, on the day of the IPO, it looks like it IPO'd at $17. So that's where I got the 17 from. Now, I don't, see,
yeah, there was a split in here. There's got to be a split in here that was not accounted for. Looks like we had the 223 1 to 60 reverse. That's got to be in here though, right? Because we got the correct price here today. That might just be some of the historical candles getting pulled post split here. Okay, so that's unfortunate.
But the point is that to get these levels that I'm getting every day, I'm looking at previous price action by looking to the left. I typically use the 1 hour or daily chart because I want larger time frames. So when I look for these levels, I look for where they bottomed, where they topped, where the top wicks are, the bottom of the wicks are, closes, opens, things like that. And if it looks like a pretty good level, like that 17 one where it IPO'd, where it closed the day IPO'd, that looked like a level to me. So it's just a matter of just looking to the left and marking them off where they look like they've been topping out or bottoming out.
Yeah, this is interesting because I still don't see that here in the trade the pool broker, but I do see it in Thinkorswim. So this has got to be just some type of historical candle issue. But to your point there, look to the left, find those levels when they're back in play, use those as targets. That's really good.
Yep. And that's really all it is. It's nothing super special. It's just looking at previous price action. It's kind of crazy how simple some of this stuff really is. It's just a matter of like, okay, well, is it actually going to get there? Because like I said, I have levels going all the way up over 40, but we never got there.
Yeah, we never actually got there. Yeah.
So it may not ever hit those levels, but at least I have levels to watch for.
Paul saying, really like you guys cover the penny stocks as well as the big boys. Paul, we try to cover anything that's moving. We do not discriminate. We understand that people trade all different kinds of stocks, stock options, futures, the whole 9 yards. We try and call what we see moving. If we put it on your radar, we hope that the trader in you ends up making those gains. Daddy Backstrap saying, Ryan, can you speak on what kind of levels you would take on Google or Apple for mid to long term? This is a pretty specific question. Do you have any live trades going right now that we need to watch? Can I flip over and take a look at some of these levels?
Oh, go ahead.
The Apple one is really easy because we've actually been talking about that quite a bit. Keep in mind, personally, for Apple, it's a little bit different for me because I have a long-standing position that is up an absolute ton. My cost basis post-split here is in like the 20s on Apple. So there's no way that there's any of this back and forth daily volume that's going to cause me to change that position. That still pays, by the way. Some of the long-term positions that we're looking for swing long ads here on Apple are going to be 165 area. You can see that actually lines up really nicely with this bottom area where Apple kind of reversed. This also lines up with the 500-day moving average. Furthermore, to 13's point about looking to the left, if you draw this line, and I'm just basically using the crosshair here at 165, if you look all the way across, you can see that this 165 level goes all the way back to 2021, I believe that is. Yeah, 2021. So this 165 level, definitely a support. Below that, we've actually got another support here at 160. Also happens to be that round number, which is something else that the stock will like to bounce off of. And then 13 was, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to speak for you, was 140 the kind of the stink bid low level that you had there?
I've been saying that I see a case that could be made for Apple going, under 160 and as low as 140. So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I just I see the possibility of it being there, and that's one of the reasons why I don't just go full in on these positions that I'm talking about at 165 and 160. It's going to be good enough for me to have something of a position, get started on it, and if it goes lower, then I can add to it because that's part of my plan when I go along with these investment names that they're holding for a year or more. I kind of ease in on the weakness and then I ease out or sell into the strength.
Yeah, and that's really good. Also, I see some here at 155 as well. Now, the thing to remember here, Daddy Backstrap, and we're going to take a look at Google here in a sec, which they have a little bit of a different setup here. The price is actually under most of these moving averages. Now, I've got the 500, which we're approaching here. But I mean, if you take a look at the 200-day, we're 12 points under that, and we're many, many closes under that. So we really want this to kind of firm and let's say confirm that the near-term bottom is in. If this keeps falling, take a look at that 165, 160, 155, 140 level. Google was the other question you wanted, or the other stock you wanted to take a look at. Let's do that now. Google here is a little bit more interesting because I actually think that you've got to trade sooner than you do on Apple for a potential long. I don't like Google. I do use some of their products begrudgingly. I've begun to switch away. The politics that this company finds itself in are disgusting. They literally disgust me. So it's hard for me to really kind of get some really good feeling about this company. What I will say here is I do like money. So if I see a trade set up, I will probably take it. With Google here, I'm encouraged to see that not only did we recapture the 200-day, but we actually closed above it. Now, I wouldn't chase this move up. Google's up 2.5% here. We're actually trading right up to that 100-day. I'd want this to be a little bit closer to that 200-day, but since we've already started the move, I'll be patient and wait this out. I actually think there's another rollover here in some of these tech names coming. So I hope that answers your question, Daddy Backstrap.
Yeah, with Google, I'm already in this one. So as far as an entry goes, I don't think there's a good moment for that. I mean, there could have been one when it was around its 200-day SMA, which it's now moving away from. We're getting back up into some other moving averages that could provide some resistance. So I mean, the whole tech sector and in some cases the communication sector, like which this is part of, is just so oversaturated that I think we're going to start to see some of these names begin to go down. So, I mean, as far as a good entry for it to go long, I really can't say at the moment. I need to see, some slowing down of selling, because I think that we're still in the process of going down. Maybe under 120, but again, I'm not sure. I think this is something you may want to wait on. I don't know what your time horizon is either. So if it's like a year, I don't think maybe now is the greatest time.
Yeah. Jay Rice very simply puts, this was a combination to, I'm sorry. Okay, Apple, there were a ton of 160 or 170 puts sold last week that expired today. Doubt they let it go below it. There you go. Good stuff there, Jay. Daddy Backstrap, let me know if that helps. I think you might have already done that, actually. With Apple's declining revenue over multiple reports, would you still wait for only a technical setup confirmation from an earnings? Yeah, so this is a good question here. With Apple's declining, I know you said reclining, but I think you mean declining revenue over multiple reports. Would you still wait for only a technical setup and confirmation from earnings or a press release of revenue addition? Okay, so first of all, if they bought Rivian, I'd actually be a little bit concerned. I expect the stock to sell off. Rivian loses $1 billion a quarter, and they're going to have to shore that up before that's accretive to them. As far as Apple coming back in, you have no idea how many times I have when everything was good and this market was ripping and Apple was ripping, there were reports every other week. iPhone demand is soft and China's this and China's that. And Apple would keep going higher and then split and then go higher. And so for a long time, I'd actually use that as an entry trigger. Things seem to be changing here. The consumer seems to be weakening here. And I think that the weakness on the American consumer is temporary, but the consumer weakness and the change in China is something that bears watching. And so what you're asking about here, there's two different things. First of all, my long-term position, something would have to fundamentally change at Apple. People would have to not like the phone anymore. And that is not the case. That's not what I see. There is a better phone on the market. The Samsung phone is better, yet people still line up around the block to buy that iPhone. So until that changes, I'm long and strong. Now, what the other part that you're asking about here is a potential shorter-term swing trade that I would take off technicals. The long trade I'm already in, I'm already invested, I'm already green. Nothing is going to change unless the fundamentals change. The shorter-term trades here are most likely to be swings, and I will absolutely use technical levels for that. Okay, I'm done talking now, 13. It's your turn.
What are we talking about?
Whatever you want, dude. Whatever you want. You know what I'll do here is I'm going to tease what's coming up next. It is Friday. We're having a fun Friday. You like the alliteration with the double F's there. We got AB coming on here at 11. So we got All Access with Aaron Bree. Don't miss that. Aaron's really done a great job. We got a market breakdown at 11:15 and tech tune-up coming up after that. So we'll go to Aaron here. We still got another 12 minutes before we finish off here, but we got more content rolling here today.
Yeah, I think you guys are just, kind of going on about Apple's financials, and they have such brand loyalty, like you were saying, and they have they still generate a massive amount of cash flow. So I don't think that the company's in any danger with the declining revenue or the decoupling from China. Exactly. There's going to be other places they can go. They're starting to move into India now, so that's probably going to be a good emerging market if you haven't already got into it. I'm not too overly concerned about Apple. Every company is going to have weakness in their lifetime, and I think this is just one of those cycles where it's just nothing seems to be working right now. They don't have a really good new product that's going to take it to new highs. This is just a down cycle for Apple, and I think it's a good strategy to buy into the down cycle.
Thankfully, they have a ridiculous cash position and they can weather any of these types of downsides. It's a really good point. By the way, PBM coming into its VWAP. Keep your eye on this if you're looking for another trade here. I have got no entry yet on this. And then the other thing about Apple, if you believe the Dan Ives bull case, Dan Ives was actually just on CNBC and out here talking recently. He says AI is coming to Cupertino. So basically what he's saying is there is going to be a huge Apple AI-based product coming. Maybe that's the next big thing. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I can't tell you. I would imagine that they're going to try to capitalize off AI, but they already are. I mean, Siri is kind of AI. You're basically asking it generic questions and it's looking shit up and giving you an answer. So I'm sure that's going to proliferate here. What does that mean for the stock price? Too early for me to tell you.
They are moving production into India. Right. But I don't think I was saying that they're moving the iPhone only into India.
No. Okay. So what 13 was saying here is that they're actually moving production into India out of China.
Yes.
I think what Jay is saying here is that this foldable phone, that the Samsung Fold, that is very, very hot in international markets. Jay is absolutely right about that. Extremely popular. And I think Jay's right here. I think that the popularity of that phone is hurting Apple. Yeah. I think that is true.
Yeah, we've been getting that from Tom too. Yeah. So sorry for misunderstanding, but yeah, I agree with that. And one of the, we've been looking at some of these emerging markets.
TBM off that VWAP 365. That was all I had to clear out. Kept rolling here.
Oh wow, look at that! Now it's starting to move up a bit here. Let's see if we can get that momentum going. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of international emerging markets as a result of the decoupling that we're seeing from China. So Southeastern Asian countries like Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, they're all going to benefit. Absolutely, India is going to benefit. Mexico has actually been one of the biggest beneficiaries of the decoupling from China. Now they're our largest trading partner. So a lot of good things coming out of, well, not for China, but a lot of good things coming out for other emerging markets with this decoupling from China.
Real quickly here, I was just glancing over at the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin traded up on the futures chart to $71,055 and then knifed all the way back down to 68,000. We're settling here 68,900, just under 69K. Man, this has been a fun day. This is how you start a Friday. Like, I'm ready to roll into the weekend. Like I'm ready to roll into the weekend. Main port doing good. A couple of good scalps here, 2 for 2. Like let's finish this day off strong, roll into the weekend, and do it again next week. I mean, I am absolutely ready for this.
Well, let's do it.
Oh, Ryan, I asked you 3 times already. Yep, sorry, Jay. Let me go ahead and do that right now. Can you pull up a 3-year weekly chart? I want to show you something. Is this on Apple? That is the only follow-up question I have. Is this 3-year chart on Apple? What stock is it? Let me get, you said the weekly. Let me get the weekly up here. Boom, boom, boom. Here is Apple. Let me know what that is. I will go ahead and flip over to it. Wisdom. Have a blessed day and weekend. Much love and blessings. May you all have abundance. Thank you, BZ crew. You are welcome, Wisdom. Thanks again for joining us. We will see you next week. Stay green, stay safe. Have a great one. GE. That's right. We did talk about GE. All right, Jay. Here we go. Here is your, I think, what did you ask for here? Again, let me set the stage here. 3-year weekly chart. I want to show you something. Okay, so 3-year takes us all the way back to 2021. Here we go. I'm going to try to center this here. Here is your 3-year weekly chart. God, look at this move. You're right about GE. Look at this move. Look at this move away from 90 that we did in what, mid of the year in 2023.
Well, actually, crazy.
At this 190, this is split adjusted. Look at this chart on GE.
Yeah, because didn't they have to file for bankruptcy or
yeah, they had a whole host of problems that drove them down here.
Quite a recovery. All right,
Judge, take care of yourself, man. You're more than welcome. Thank you for all your support and your kind words and your positive energy, bro. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, just looking for setups right now. It looks like the Honest Company from yesterday is setting up at the volume. Just isn't really there. HNST.
Gene, have a great weekend, guys. It's 2 a.m. here in Guam. Okay, so first of all, you're going to get a 1-up from joining us from Guam. You're going to get another one for joining us up at 2 a.m. That is some dedication, Gene. Get some rest. Have a great weekend, dude.
I hope you're having good weather out there.
It's Guam. Isn't it always good? That shows my ignorance, man. I don't know.
I just know that it's an island, and I imagine they would.
Here, I'll wait for, I know Jay's typing here, so I'll wait till we get that back. But what I will do in the meantime, we will take a look at some of these that are moving here. Richard, great job, guys. What an amazing show. Best trading show on the web, bar none. I could not participate in the market today, having a brief vacation. Have a wonderful weekend. You enjoy your weekend. And you know what? Enjoy your vacation.
Yeah,
you are not under any obligation. This is a little funny story here real quick.
Aimed. Sorry.
Yep. Nope. I'll flip to it. We might as well bring something up here. I called a gentleman back that was looking for support the other day. And I said, hey, are you in front of your computer? I'd be happy to walk you through this. He goes, unfortunately, I'm at the beach. And I'm like, sir, that does not sound unfortunate.
Yeah, it looks like AIM was trying to get going here. It's been trying to get going all morning, and we're so close to moving up here. I just don't know when this is going to take off, but it's been trying all morning. I have to think that it's going to break out here at some point.
Yeah, right on that VWAP. Okay, Jay, I think I can help you here real quick. Remember, we got 4 minutes till we turn it over to AB here, so I am going to try and do this fast. Jay, what I did here is I turned off these volume sticks. I think this volume sticks make that base a little bit difficult to see, but based on what you were saying here, I show a 2-year base, basically flat and then a breakout. So in here, right, going back to 2019, you've really kind of got this bottom here right around 37.57, and this area right in here up to like 89. Again, I know this is split adjusted, but it's this right in here, I think, that you're talking about, right? Basically just kind of trading sideways here, using this area here as a bottom, and then it just broke out. Now that breakout spot here was at about $90. It was right in here, and it just shot after it did that. Literally shot.
The GE looks even more interesting when you go to a monthly. There's several different things I'm seeing here with that.
Here's that base that he was talking about, but what are you seeing here?
Well, the most recent formation we have here on the right. Oh, wow. Now AIM is breaking down. Guess it wasn't going to work out for them. GE, this looks like it might be making a bit of an inverse head and shoulder. Well, it made an inverse head and shoulders, and now it's taking off. So we're seeing the resolution of that.
Here's your, let me just correct me. Yeah. Shoulder, head, shoulder, break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, we have that bottoming action that you were talking about. What did you guys call it? 30? Was it 35?
A base. Yeah, 30. I had that here at what? 40, 39, 38, 39. Yep.
And if we continue to get this up movement, we're going to get a golden cross on the monthly. Now, one thing that I do notice about how this move here is that we're coming up into a bit of a supply area from 2016 to 2017.
Yep.
You see that there? Yeah.
Right
so
in here. Yep.
That could be a resistance area, and we also have a pretty high RSI on the monthly. So here's what I think that we might end up seeing with this. We'll probably try to move through that consolidation, and it may get rejected, come back in before it takes another attempt to go through it. And I think it'll be more successful in the second attempt.
I agree with you. The other thing, that consolidation, that sideways trading here is going to knock that RSI down. So it actually might have that juice to go through it on that second, third, maybe even fourth attempt. Good stuff there. Good stuff there on GE. This is not a stock that we normally break down. Maybe we should. That one pretty good there. Okay, 2 minutes here till we get Aaron Bree on, and we are going to turn it over to All Access. We are having a great day. I love days like this. Like I'm really optimistic for the weekend. Like all of my Tarkov raids are going to be good. The wine's going to be extra good. Like this is going to be great.
Looks like PBM is trying to go through 4 again after getting rejected earlier. Yeah, Smoke Tuna.
Smoke Tuna has been all over PBM today. I Smoke Tuna, how many tickets have you wrote on this name here today? I feel like you've been all over this one.
Yeah, it looks like it's still having a hard time getting through 4. This might be one of those afternoon movers. It'll come back down, probably find a base around 3 or so or something like that, and then start to move up again if it doesn't get that move through 4 here.
LYT, by the way, continuing to break down. I know we talked about that earlier. Bitcoin holding in here. Not looking great. TGTX, kind of a bummer today. I will make a decision on that on Monday.
What you going to do, PBM? You going to break through or break down?
It's going to try. It looks like it's going to try to push up to that supply area first. Oh, excuse me. VIX right back down here at 14. That's Tesla pounding the lows. Man, you know, we didn't even look at Tesla here today. We had so much other action. Tesla is really kind of coming in. Someone was asking for, I think, a daily chart here on Tesla. We just took out some lows. Got this bottom here at what? 171, maybe 4 points away. Tesla, I don't know, man. I think we might have some trouble here pretty soon. Rivian getting knocked down. Okay.
Yeah, that 180 level, couldn't get back above it. I think, this thing's going down to under 160.
DS, I agree with you, by the way. 1250, your next support here in Rivian. If this area doesn't hold, I know it's trying to bounce here, maybe make a run back towards that VWAP, but if that doesn't hold, 1250 next. All right, let me bring on AB.
All right.
Let me bring on AB here. AB, how's it going, dude?
I'm good, Ryan. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Market hit new all-time highs. Bitcoin almost got up to 70K. I mean, what's there to be mad about?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. There's nothing to be mad about. What do you got coming up here?
We are going to be talking to Nightscope today on All-Access, one of our favorite companies here on Nightscope. One of our favorite companies here at Benzinga, Nightscope.
Oh, yeah.
We've actually done like off-site stuff with them in DC. Very cool company. Excited to learn more about it. And Ryan, by the way, I just got news today that I might be coming to your neck of the woods next weekend.
Sounds like party time.
You gonna celebrate my birthday?
Yeah, well, I'm talking to AT about it. I want to be able to get around in with you, but the problem is Saturday morning is when they do the, river dyeing and everything. So I was suggesting maybe we play Sunday, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, you guys are dropping some surprises. Good luck on All Access. Have fun with Nightscope 13. Great job today. Do me a favor. See if I can get my own personal security robot, would you?
Sure.
Yeah, and shout out the Crow in the chat. I mean, this is a rare 5-day work week for me. We're on a hot streak right now, so.
Take it away, AB. Happy.
All right, guys, if this is your first time joining us for Benzinga's All Access, this is where we bring on executives from publicly traded companies and learn more about those companies straight from the source, your only place on YouTube that you get to do this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome on William Santana Lee, the CEO of Nightscope. All right, Bill, how you doing today?
I'm good. Greetings from sunny California.
Woo! California, early for you there, so I appreciate you getting up early and joining us this morning. Before we hop into it again, Nightscope on the NASDAQ, ticker KSCP, right up there on the screen. Bill, do you mind just giving us a brief overview of Nightscope before we get into it?
Yes, we're a public safety technology innovator, combining autonomy, AI, robotics, and electric vehicle technology into a bunch of crazy security robots that are now patrolling across the country. We've done nearly 3 million hours out in the field, probably north of $30 million in top line revenue. And now we've proven that all this stuff works. And now we're starting to scale up, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, and I mean, I love companies with a good story. I tend to focus more on the story than, fundamentals, anything like that. And I mean, you have robotics, AI, all this stuff right now that's so hot. Industry is growing. It is the future. And you also have this problem of crime throughout the country. So it's kind of, what I like about you guys is you're kind of at this meeting point of this inflection point of these two big trends. What makes Nightscope's robots so effective?
Well, first of all, it's perfect timing on your point, overnight success. Robots will be everywhere, and anyone who thinks that's not going to happen is up for a rude awakening. Robotic automation is not only hot, it's growing, and we're right at the intersection. And I think what makes it really attractive for our clients, both in the private sector and local, state, and federal government, is it's very cost effective. It's up to $9 an hour to have one of these patrol 24/7 at your premises and give your guards and officers unprecedented capabilities. But they're also effective. Like, we've had a lot of clients renew for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7. We even announced this quarter 8th year renewal. And why? Because it's effective. And you can go to knightscope.com/crime to see that long list of positive things that all these robots have already done for society.
That's awesome. And I mean, I mentioned it, how hot AI and robotics has been this year. I mean, that's really been the story of the stock market all year this year has been AI. How are you guys integrating AI into your products?
This is a funny, somewhat comical question that keeps coming up. Hey, when's Nightscope gonna use AI? When's Nightscope gonna use it? Like, you think there's like Barney Rubble or Fred Flintstone inside the little robot moving everything around? Like, we've been actually the practical application of AI for these machines to autonomously navigate outdoors and indoors with cars, people, cats, and sheep, and I don't know what else we've seen. To autonomously recharge, to do facial recognition, to detect a person, to read several hundred license plates a minute. We've actually been doing what everyone's been, now starting to hype and talk about. Nightscope is literally built on AI.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. And that is funny because, I mean, if you see a robot moving around doing its own thing, then chances are, right, there's some AI in there. Like you said, it's not someone else in there. It's not some, when they filmed Star Wars, they did have a guy inside the R2-D2.
Exactly.
That's not what this is. That's a little
No,
different.
this is the automotive equivalent of level 5 autonomy. Like, literally, it's not remote control. There's no one teleoperating it. And we have, machines running across the country. Let's see, in every American time zone, and we've done 7, 8 winters and summers. So we've learned a thing or two, and that gives us a massive competitive advantage over anyone who's wanting to actually implement AI in the real world, not a cute app or some science fair project.
Yeah, getting that real field experience, learning on the go and figuring out what, works and, what needs to be changed. You provide a machine as a service, MAS. Why use this model?
So it gives, let's see, for the clients, they're looking at, security guard services, let's see, on average, maybe $28 an hour. And if we can show up there with not, hey, you need to buy 6 figures for this robot and then go maintain it and set up your robot service maintenance division, like, that's not going to work with a lot of clients. They're busy with what they need to do as security and law enforcement professionals. It also allows us to control, from a cybersecurity standpoint and IP standpoint, all the assets across the country. Financially, it gets really attractive because we've got luxury automotive per unit economics, meaning you're almost buying a brand new Tesla every year. But over time, that subscription starts adding up on top of each other and ends up looking like a software as a service margin on a really high per unit revenue. So we're really excited because now we have actual data. This is not like forecast stuff. Let's look at the clients that we've had for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. What are the profit margins associated with those? And we're at or above our long-term targets, which is 60%. So now that we've proven the business model, the technology, the financials associated with it, now we're really focused on scaling up and getting to profitability before the end of the year's out.
Got it. And then, Bill, I know your Innovation Week is just around the corner. Can you tell us a little bit about this event? Who is it for and how they can participate? And I mean, if you can let anything slip, give us a little exclusive here. We'd love that too.
So we're going to do, as you can see from behind me, like music a little bit. So when my teammates said, hey, Bill, like, don't make the agenda for the week a Master Puppets Metallica beat everyone over the head starting at the beginning. Like, let's do a Stairway to Heaven crescendo. So we're going to walk through a little bit of the history and some of the bloopers and robot fails that we've learned over the last 10 years. We're definitely going to be talking about disruption by AI and how that's going to affect public safety. And then the juicy stuff is, future concepts, walking through the updated investor deck, and maybe we have a surprise or a thing or two up our sleeve.
Ooh, well, we got to tune in for those surprises. I'm excited about that. Bill, you just deployed at Margaritaville in Bossier City, Louisiana, as part of a larger deal with Penn Entertainment. What does that process look like, and how many more locations are you deploying in as part of the deal with Penn?
So that one, we have a master service agreement for up to 43 of their locations. We started deploying the first few, and now we're starting to scale up. We're also transitioning to our 5th generation all new machine, which we started to deploy in Margaritaville is one of them. And back to Innovation Week. If you do want to sign up, make sure to go to knightscope.com/innovation week, and you can sign up for one or all the sessions. And these are a couple hours to maybe 3 or 4 hours, and at the end of each day is a live Q&A with me and the team answering all your softball and hardball questions. And then on Friday we'll do a full wrap up with and a town hall, kind of a free-for-all with no moderator, for you to ask me directly any and all questions. As long as I can legally answer it, most likely I will.
That's awesome. We love companies that are transparent. And, you mentioned like sharing some of the bloopers and things you've learned in the past. And it's like, I love that. If as an investor, I want the companies and the people that run those companies to be transparent, to be honest, and not say, oh yeah, we're so perfect. No, nothing ever has gone wrong. Cause obviously that's not true for any company. Wrapping up here, Bill, I'm gonna ask you for a hot take. Will we see autonomous robots deployed with weapons in the future? Non-lethals like stun guns? What regulations are in place to guide that, if any?
Yeah, not by Nightscope. That's a bright red line against corporate policy. We've had a lot of people ask us to go do that. We're not doing that. I think we've got more than enough massive budget to do military type operations outside in the theater of war. That doesn't belong in society. You need the robots to do the monotonous, computationally heavy stuff, and let the humans do the enforcement and decision making. These are unprecedented capabilities in terms of tools, but they are not to be used. And then just common sense. You're trying to get society to change how they think about public safety. And the last thing you need to be doing, you need to build some trust. And the last thing you need to be doing is like, hey, let's go tase somebody. And then
the robot, not even a person.
by a robot. And by the way, I've got no engineers on the team willing to be the test dummy.
Right.
So we're not doing that. For the federal government side, one thing that we're really excited about is after 3 years of a review, I got our authority to operate with the U.S. federal government. And so our first client there is the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. And if everything goes well, we'll be deploying our first machine here shortly.
Awesome. Well, Bill, this has been an awesome discussion. Love learning more about Nightscope. I do actually have one kind of final question. Obviously, I think you know more about robotics and AI than the average Joe. And as I mentioned, that's been the biggest story of the year so far. Outside of Nightscope, do you have any, companies or sectors that you think could heat up with this? Obviously, NVIDIA and the semiconductors have been like the big winners so far, but are there any that people aren't really thinking about right now yet?
I think AI over the next 5 to 10 years is going to be absolutely fascinating, game changing. One of the ones that I get most excited about is, and I'm not in the space, is the biotech medical side of things. Like your ability to run massive experiments at very, very large scales to get to an answer much more quickly is just going to have a huge positive impact. Internally for us, software development, if you can get an engineer to be a 2x, 3x, 10x engineer with the same resources and pump out a lot more stuff, this is literally an upgrade for the entire human population to be that much more productive. And NVIDIA is certainly a play, but you have to actually put the technology to work.
Right.
And that's something that Nightscope represents. And if you want to learn a little bit more about AI, because everyone kind of throws out the term and a lot of investors not really sure what that all means. We'll break it down for you during Innovation Week next week. And there's actually a session, I think it's on Tuesday or Wednesday, that's just focused on AI. So you want to catch that if you want to get into the little bit more of the details of how this all works.
Yeah, and that's why it's kind of an interesting question, because you can say, okay, what are the big AI plays? But then when you think about it, like you put it, it's like it's going to impact everything, so it's figuring out which ones it's going to have the most impact on and the most immediate impact on, and then eventually, it's going to be everywhere.
It's here's an easy equivalent for you. So I used to be an automotive executive in Detroit. There was a time now I'm going to date myself, in the 80s and 90s where JIT, or just-in-time manufacturing, was the key big word, right? There's no one in the auto space running around going, we're a JIT company. Like it doesn't make any sense. And that's going to happen in the next probably 5-10 years. Like these are all tools that are going to really accelerate everyone's proficiency and technical and business acumen.
Well, Gotti, you see Detroit skyline right behind us. If you're ever back here, Bill, come say hi. We'd love to have you.
Detroit Rock City.
Maybe do an in-person interview next time. Bill, this has been awesome. Loved learning more about Nightscope. Again, trading on the NASDAQ, ticker KSCP, right up there on the screen. Bill, looking forward to Innovation Week next week. Have a great Friday and a great weekend.
Thank you. And don't forget, long Nightscope and short the criminals.
Oh, it's a little AI right there on your camera?
What's that?
Is that a little AI right there on your camera?
Oh, yeah.
Look, you're already using it. Oh,
before I head off to the office, you caught me in my home office. So I'm heading up back to Mountain View to meet up with one of our new incoming board members, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, that's actually AI right there of, the camera tracking me and doing real-time adjustments. So
beautiful. All right, Bill. Well, again, have a great Friday. We'll catch up soon. Take care.
All right, be good.
All right, guys. Thank you to Bill and the team over at Nightscope. Love learning more about these publicly traded companies, and that's a very exciting one that we've been working with for a while here at Benzinga. Coming up after this, we do have Market Breakdown, the new show that Zunaid and I are doing. That's where we take down just some of the top headlines from the market, as well as, pop culture, talk about a few other things. So it's a fun show that Zunaid and I are just kind of chit-chatting on, shooting something on. And then after that at 2 p.m., we do have Tech Tune-Up with Paul Meeks. So stay tuned. We will be streaming all day long. This stream will redirect you to the next show. Don't need to go anywhere. Smash the like and subscribe if you haven't already.